I saw you at the Casper fight scene on here recently.
Yep. So their episode came out last week. Super dope dudes. Like
Yeah,
they
they're
they
they're
talk.
really cool.
Yeah, they
Uh,
talk
they're
very highly of you guys, by the way.
oh sweet. Yeah, their first time in Kalamazoo was playing with us, and then they've been like good friends of ours ever since that show. So it's really cool to see them like signing to No Sleep and like kind of moving up with us.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. Especially like I've interviewed a few different bands from Michigan as well. And like just the everyone that's coming from like Michigan, which is also like one of those states, like I'm from Iowa originally, like it's one of those states you don't think about like anything coming from.
Uh,
There's so many good like bands coming out of Michigan. It's amazing. So Gabe, we'll crack these beers. I'll count us down, and then we'll crack them, and then I'll do the little intro, and then bring the two of you
Okay.
guys in, and then
Hell yeah,
we'll just
dude.
have a good time.
Sweet.
All right, in three, two, one. Welcome to the Beers with Bands podcast with your host, Michael Torres. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another Beers with Bands. I know we talked about this band when I sat down with the Caster Fight Scene, and I'm stoked to finally have them on the podcast. I'm sitting down with Saturdays at your place. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
We're doing great.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you guys here. You guys got a lot of cool stuff kicking, and you know I'm lucky enough to catch you right before. I mean, you guys leave for tour next week, so I'm lucky enough to kind of swoop in at the last minute here. Before we get too far, can you kind of go between the two of you to say who you are and what you do in Saturdays at your place?
Yeah, so my name's Gabe. I play drums and I do some vocals on like half the songs. Like me and Eston split between songs on who's doing leads. So I do that and yeah, and write some of the songs and uh yeah, I work at Jimmy John's.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I'm Mitch. I play guitar. Um, I don't really sing, but they give me a microphone most of the time. Um, I print the merch that we sell at shows. Um, yeah.
Oh shit, that's good. Yeah. I wait, can I add to mine?
Yeah.
I work on the website and ship merch and stuff like that. So we all kind of like got our own little corners of the bands that we take care of.
I mean, I feel like that's a good way to do it. Because I
Yeah.
think I've talked to someone and they were like, yeah, at one point it was just kind of me, like either on all the socials, but like also doing like all the merch. But when you take the time to kind of like split it between everyone, and it's like, okay, this is your duty, this is your job to make sure we're all still doing what we need to be doing. It like levels out the stress, so like no one's like
Yeah.
overworked.
It's
Yeah,
super
absolutely.
useful. It's way better than trying to do it all by ourselves.
Yeah.
Definitely. So it really helps to have like actually like bandmates.
Right. Like I did say, you guys are Saturdays at your place, which is for people that don't aren't for people that aren't aware. It's an emo band from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Like we were kind of saying before we started, there's so many good bands in this like Michigan scene. I mean, obviously we talked to Casper Fight Scene a few episodes ago. We got you guys. There's a good scene down in like the Detroit area as well that some of those people have been on. It's one that I keep every time I find a new band. I'm always like, hell yeah, like this shit slaps. And you guys got a lot of cool stuff going. But before we get to the new stuff, I do want to point out that I know I think it was January of 2023. January is still this year. You released your latest EP, Always Cloudy, also with your signing to No Sleep with That. Which for people that haven't listened to that, please go check it out. It still hits
Yeah.
so well. And I
Thank
also
you.
listened to Something Worth Celebrating today as well, just to get the full
Oh shit,
discography
let's
in.
go.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's all great. I love it all, and everyone should be going and checking all of that stuff out as well.
Thank you
Well,
so
thank you.
much, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the main reasons you guys are on tonight is you have not only two new singles coming out, but you have this new split coming out. But I want to start
Yeah.
with the first single that's come out so far. At the time of this recording, it's been out a few weeks, called "Pour Over." Um, it's it's such a good song. I mean, everything you guys are doing is good, but it's so good, catchy. Um, for people that might not
Oh
have
yeah.
checked it out, like, tell me a little bit about it for those people.
Um, it's like it's very upbeat, like kind of fast paced. Like the overall tone of it kind of reminds me of like the energy that a lot of modern baseball songs have, where it's kind of like chimey and like very driving. Um, so it's got this kind of like bright and happy feel with these like pretty serious lyrics over it that Esden wrote kind of about like some of the hardships that come with like just like trying to be a good friend and like hold up your end in relationships and stuff like that. Um, I don't know, Gabe, you got anything to add
Yeah.
to that?
Yeah, I think I was just waiting to see. I knew we were gonna talk over each other if I started talking. Um, I think like out of the two singles that we have, or the two songs off the split that are ours, I think that Pour Over shares like the most similarities to the EP and like what we've done in the past. And I think the way that we wrote it also like kind of relates to that. Uh but yeah, so you can like hear the classic like Mitch guitar riffs in there, and like yeah, it just kind of has a similar vibe, I guess.
Now, does it have a similar vibe because it was like written at the same time, or was this written way after the EP?
I remember Esden sent me a video of him playing like that end part, like I guess it's okay if you hate me. Um, like he had that written like
Oh
very
yeah.
soon after we recorded that EP. Um,
Mm.
and it wasn't until like it was definitely a good couple months later that we decided to like tackle it full band and like turn it into a full arrangement for us. Um,
Okay.
but we kind of did the same thing with the EP, like coming out of our album. We had the first two songs off of it written like right around the time that the album actually came out, and then we were like building off of there. Um, but yeah, so it was
Yeah.
like it started working on it like pretty quickly after the EP was recorded.
Oh, okay. I mean, kind of bouncing off what you guys are saying, like it's super bouncy and fun. But yeah, obviously there's those deeper lyrics that are in there that once you fully like let it soak in, that you're kind of like, oh, okay, like I feel
Yeah.
that. But it's also like in typical emo fashion, it's super relatable at the same time. Like I'm listening to it, I'm like, I feel like I've experienced it at some point, and it just
Yeah.
hit on that whole other level. And I think it's a great song to come out as like the next single from like kind of departing from the EP into this. Um, and I mean the split is going to be super stacked. And we'll talk about the second song here in a little bit. But one other cool thing you guys did for Pour Over is you did this music video, and I gotta say it's probably like one of the most unique and like thought out like music videos that I've seen in a little while.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
because for people that haven't watched it, it's literally just like a stop motion video with cuts of Mitch playing guitar with you guys sitting in like an empty lot. But to do it all stop motion and just spend all the time to do that is like incredible. What was the thought process behind kind of adding that element into it?
So
Um
our manager Tyson does like a lot of the video for us and stuff. And I think I don't know if it was him or Esden, but like one of the two of them kind of dreamt up the idea for this video and then brought it to us. I don't know if you know more about how that came to be, Gabe.
um yeah, I wish I had a better answer for that, but I think it was just like trying to be unique. I think they just like genuinely they were like like making these videos is like genuinely super fun for us, and I think that was just a way to explore like a different kind of video and kind of be like stand out a little bit. And
Yeah,
also yeah, I think that. I don't want to say
Um,
something that's wrong, you know.
we've had a lot of fun like doing all of our music videos and stuff like ourselves. Like it's really cool to have like that added level of creative control over it when like you're doing all the work for it. We put out a video for Future around when the EP came out, and Tyson and Esden had the idea for that one too, and it's kind of wild. And if you like don't really read into it, it's just like cool to look at and doesn't make much sense. But if you pay attention, it's got these like two timelines that are going at the same time. One of them's going forward, and then like one of them's happening in reverse, and then they like intersect at the middle and like move forward together, and then the end of the video like loops back into the beginning of the video. And like even for me, having like seen most of the video get filmed and like put together, like it took me a couple watches to like really catch like all the references and stuff that are like built into it. We've had a lot of fun like exploring and trying to like bring these kind of like out of the box ideas to life.
Yeah, and I think like off that, like that was like we're just getting more and more like in depth with like the ideas, and like we're trying to like and it's mainly as an Tyson, but it's like fully scope out the whole like idea and try and find like metaphors within that, so that like the actual shots are like telling stories too, and like the placement of us and stuff like that. So I think we want it to be like rewatchable and like mean more than like mean a lot of things to everybody, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, so like the used to be like the typical style of music video was either like bounce between like band shots and then also like this very like on the nose almost like storyline in the shots. I like if with adding like the subtleness to it, I feel like that is a lot cooler because one, you're watching something and you're enjoying it. You're not trying to like follow everything, but then like you're saying, you can go back and rewatch it multiple times and be like, oh, like this spot makes a little bit more sense, and then you pick
Hmm.
up on like almost like Easter eggs throughout every time you watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They're huge like film heads, and movies are great. So we
film
definitely
heads.
want it to... You never heard that before?
No, that's a new one for me.
uh
Makes sense though.
yeah, thank you. Um but I think they're like super inspired by like actual film, and like less of more music videos, but like yeah, and like with the still shots and like just the weird shots, I think
Yeah,
that like encompasses that.
I know. I remember Tyson mentioning with the pour over video where we're in that parking lot and like the sky is this pink color, and it's like a very like minimalist like empty lot with a chair and like a table with books in it. He said that like it was giving him kind of like a Wes Anderson feel, which I think is cool. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I did love how like pink that sky was. Was that just like I don't know if that's like movie magic or was it just like a perfect day to record and have this beautiful pink sky for it?
We waited for like 2 years to try and find a day where the
Right.
sky was
Yeah.
that pink, but we had to do it in post, unfortunately.
That's okay. It still comes across super well where it's not like overdone where like it's believable that it could be like an actual like pink cloud summer.
Yeah.
Um I also
Good
loved
reference.
yeah. I also loved, you being the footstool. I thought that was like a nice little touch. And then also
Yeah.
when you like turn your head to like sing sing along like it rather than you just like sitting there.
Yeah.
I loved that little added bonus.
Thanks, dude. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's like part of the metaphor too, is that like I'm his footstool, like he's leaning on his friends, stuff like that.
I didn't even think about it like that. So boom,
That was the idea
everyone,
behind
yeah.
it, or at least what
Oh.
it turned into by the end of it.
But yeah, I loved that one. I also loved. Obviously, I went back and watched the tarot card, old uh, music video. That
Oh
one I
yeah.
loved as
I
well
almost
because that
forgot
one's
about.
just nice and simple. Where it's you guys just running down the street, following like the camera, and then there's like cut shots to just like the conversations that are being had. Which I am also a big fan of just like minimal style music videos.
Yeah.
And it was like perfect.
A lot of that
Yeah.
was shot on our first tour that we ever went on. Um, it was like 2 weeks. We basically went like up to the East Coast and then back. Um, that was a lot of fun. That was our first time like sleeping in a van, living off of like gas station food and showering at gyms, getting a taste of what life on the road was like. But
Hmm.
like a lot of those shots of us like out in like there's I think like a shot of us in like Times Square and stuff. Um, like a lot of that was just filmed on our off days on that tour. Just like whatever we had around us, we were just like, oh, let's get a video of this, video of this, video of this, and then we kind of like spliced it all together. But that was a really fun video to do.
At one point in like the beginning of that video, there's a like a car following you guys down the street, and I was just like, I wonder if this car is just gonna follow the entire way, and then it finally like turned into like a driveway, and I was slightly disappointed for that person. They could have been like a
Yeah.
super secret extra for no reason.
Oh
There's
yeah,
also
they
there's
were
a part
pissed.
where we're on like some pier in New York. Um, I think the town was called like Dunkirk or something. But like we're sitting on
Mm.
this bench and these like fishermen come like bobbing into the frame,
Oh, yeah.
like in front of us. That was pretty funny. We were like, we got to put that one in there.
Yeah, it was vicious bobbing. I was scared for them. God gave us that shot though. We knew we
For
needed to
real. We couldn't
capture it.
Yeah.
replicate that if we had to.
Exactly.
Um, but so yeah, Pour Over has been out for a while at the time that this episode comes out, and it's super solid. It's a banger, and then the full split that you guys are doing, called, hold on, I have it here. Don't want to butcher
Mm.
anything.
Better get it right, man.
I know. All right, there it is. All right, I had to like find it in my notes. Um, but yeah, your split that comes out at the 17th of November. So this episode comes out 1 week after, but it's called "That's What Friends Are For." It's a
Yeah.
three-way split with you guys, Summerbruise, and Shoplifter. And I mean, Shoplifter at the time of this recording already has one of their songs out. I was lucky enough to get your second song ahead of time, called "Forever," and obviously only listening to three out of the seven songs that are on this split, I can already tell this split's going to be fucking amazing. Obviously, Pour Over's
Thank
great.
you.
Shoplifter song is great, and then Forever is going to be your second single, which starts out like I feel like a typical Saturdays at Your Place emo song. It's got that smooth, guiding feel to it. We hear the lyrics; they set in pretty well, and then there's kind of like this shift in the middle of the song, where there's like this vocal modification that just
Yeah.
comes out of nowhere. Obviously, he's not here to kind of talk on it, but do you know like what the thought process was behind like adding that in? Because
Yeah,
it's so unique.
yeah, that's actually mine. I sing on that. Wait, you're talking
Oh,
about Forever, right?
yeah, I'm talking about
Yeah,
Forever.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that
okay,
one's
that one's you. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I think that it was like first it was like an idea because like I was it was like a demo on my computer before. So I was just like fucking with the settings and like messing with stuff and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And I think it's just meant to like the openness of it. It doesn't really have like a true meaning behind it, but I think it's like meant to be like stand out and be like, oh, this is different. I don't know. I feel like I'm fumbling this.
Yeah, those vocal effects that we have on that part. There's a song by Worry Club called "Skate 3 Speed Glitch" that has this like
Yeah.
crazy, almost like crystallized auto tune sound to it. And we were kind of going for something like that. Um, but yeah, it definitely is kind of like a pivoting point in the song where like it builds through that and then it goes into this like droning, like massive, like
Yeah.
distorted chord progression after that. And I'm like, yeah, like builds to like the biggest point in the song. Um,
You could say like that's when I kind of, in the situation that I was in, that's kind of where like I saw the light and I was like, oh shit, like this is what's actually going on and like I probably need to like leave this situation. And I think that like helps represent it a little bit.
I mean, so the first time I listened to it, it obviously threw me off a little bit because you're not expecting that in an emo song.
Right.
But the more I listened to it, and the more like I hit repeat, like I was obviously I'd already listened to it a couple times at that point, but I was so ready for it where like I was on your lyrics, like singing along, and then I knew that spot was coming, and then yeah, it builds into this amazing just like droning noise, and then it just builds up at the end to like this amazing just like kind of just instrumental section, and I was like, oh dude, like once it clicks, and then it's just like hell yes, this
Yeah.
is amazing how this is done, and like adding it in, I can't think of that song any other way now.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's so cool to hear.
I think oh,
No, go ahead.
I think like doing the split gave us an opportunity to experiment more and like not really be as careful. Just because we're like obviously like nervous about putting out like new music and like making sure that it's right and like that like this will help us. But I think that was like a moment where we just put it in because we think it's cool, and I think that'll relay, I
Yeah,
guess.
we definitely took this as an opportunity to kind of explore some new sounds. That being said, we've never really tried to like hone our sound as a band in on like one particular thing. Like even with the EP, like it starts out kind of with these like bright sort of like pop emo songs with like Future, and like even Fetch has like like the bright kind of like snappy guitar in it. Then like by the end of it, it's like Always Cloudy in Kalamazoo and Eat Me Alive are like these like kind of depressing, like almost gut punches. And like, I think it's cool that that EP kind of like covers so much ground from the beginning to the end, but it still kind of like flows all the way through. And I think that's something that we'll continue to do, is like to like include like a variety of different sounds on everything we put out. And this is just kind of an opportunity for us to take that one step further.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one thing I really enjoy about listening, especially with like the EP, and then you kind of see it too in like the first full length, where you kind of have that different style throughout. Because it's nice because while you're listening to something, you listening to the record, you're getting these different versions of things. But at the end of the day, it's still Saturdays at your place. It's not like all it's because it's not like all over the place enough where it's like, oh, this is just like an amalgamation of just random stuff, but they're all tying in at different levels, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool to hear. I've worried before that like we as a band don't really have a sound. Um, but a lot of people that we talk to say that we're still like we there's some like recognizable quality to us, which is cool to hear.
Yeah, we're still babies too, so it takes some
Yeah,
time.
we're just getting started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first full length came out in 2021, and now we're here. You released that, the EP. You're releasing this split. Signed to No Sleep. I mean, it's been a good few years for you guys, I would say.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been really cool. That first album that we put out, it wasn't really like a fully conceptualized album or anything.
definitely.
Like it's got those instrumental tracks on it and stuff, and it's like a bit all over the place. It was kind of just for fun, and it was everything that we had written at that point. We just decided to kind of record it and put it all out at once. When we put Always Cloudy out, we like got some eyes on us, and then that's kind of like when we kicked it into gear and decided to like start taking it more seriously. And I think not that we're like not proud of that album, but like we're definitely putting a lot more thought into the things that we're writing and like trying to put out now, since we have we've like put together a bit of an audience that we have like looking at us, so we kind of feel some more pressure to like deliver some more like well thought out stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. I feel like everyone kind of gets the same mentality where they like, especially like you said, like the first album was just everything you guys had done. You put something out into the world, let people know who you are, and then you kind of get that footing for like what your audience is or what you're leaning to do, and then
uh
obviously you polish it up and kind of move on and go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, we're excited to get back to like writing and to really like actually conceptualize something this time.
Yeah, we've got a good couple months without shows after we get back from this tour with Prince Daddy and Free Throw. And I think we're really gonna kind of like get to writing in that time, and I'm excited to see what we come up with. We've been playing with a lot of new bands recently too, so I think we're all kind of drawing influence from some new places. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how that shows up in what we write.
Now, going into like this whole writing process, do you guys already have in mind whether you want to do like an EP or do a full length to kind of follow up Always Cloudy and these singles?
I think right now we're leaning towards a full length. We don't have any like set in stone decisions made yet. Um, I feel like it'd be really cool to like put out a full length now that we have this audience and like kind of like really make it something cool. I don't know if you're familiar with the band Arm's Length, but yeah, they had a couple EPs out. I saw them when they were on a full US with Heart Attack, man. And like it was sort of like an instant fan kind of moment. I went and checked out everything they had out. Then they put out Never Before Seen, Never Again Found, or felt I blanking on the actual name of that album, but they put that full album out, and that was like kind of my holy shit moment with those guys. And like now their numbers have just skyrocketed since putting that out. So I think we might kind of borrow a few plays from their playbook. And like now that we have this audience behind us, see if we can put together a cool full length.
Yeah, our goal is really, really, really good. So that's what we're gonna strive for. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I'm super stoked to see what y'all come up with next to kind of follow up everything you guys have so far. Before I kind of go on to my next question, I just want to see. I know music videos, you guys have this amazing wheelhouse and coming up with ideas. Are there already ideas swirling around for a possible forever music video?
Oh, we're in the process.
Yeah, we actually
hell yeah.
That today.
Yeah, we just did that today. We just got back from doing that.
Well, I'm stoked to see how that turns out. I'm so ready. I'll get the popcorn. I'll have it queued up, you know.
I'm really fucking excited about that one. That one seems like it's probably like the biggest scope that we've done, and it's like definitely the most thought out. So I'm very excited.
Hell yeah. I do want to make a
Tyson said that video.
Well.
Okay.
No, go ahead, Mitch.
Tyson said that this video has our biggest video budget yet out of any of them. He said he spent almost $100 on it, which is kind of
whoa.
That's crazy.
Dude, he didn't tell me that. He didn't tell me we're spending that much, dude.
Dude, you guys gonna have to sell so many more shirts on this tour.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm stoked to see what that turns out like. I do want to make a point as well for people that are going to or haven't checked out your YouTube. You guys do kind of like vlogs from your tours and all this fun stuff, but you also recently did an acoustic version of Tarot, where it's the three of you just in like a ski lift, just going along with the ride, playing the song, and it's like even in the comments, people are wondering, will there ever be an acoustic album of like B-sides or anything in the future?
We haven't really discussed that. We're definitely planning to do like a lot more acoustic versions, kind of like in like unconventional places like that. It was a lot of fun to do that. It was terrifying for like the first 3 takes, but
yeah, I almost fell off.
Oh my God.
We're up there with like guitars and stuff, just like praying, like trying not to think about the fact that we're 30 feet in the air. But it turned out really cool and sounds surprisingly well for like camera audio from like 20 feet ahead of us in another chair.
I think I think that if we were to do like something digital like that, where like it was like a compilation of like acoustic versions, I think it'd probably be like more in the future. It'd be more of like a reminiscing kind of thing. But we haven't talked about it at all.
Okay. Just in my position, I gotta add these questions. I gotta let the people know.
Right.
But But yeah,
No,
no,
for sure.
it'll be sick if that ever happens. But I can definitely see like doing like maybe after it would be I feel like down the line, like let's say after the next release, then you say, hey, we're gonna kind of revamp a few songs.
That's yeah, that's more what I'm thinking. What at least I'm thinking right now in this very moment that we haven't talked about. But
Yeah, this is
uh,
the first I'm hearing of this.
yeah, yeah. Uh, but definitely the YouTube acoustics will be there.
Hell yeah.
You talking to me, bro? No, sorry, that was my roommate. He forgot I was on an interview.
No, you're good. But yeah, like I can't stress enough. Everything you guys have going on is super sick. Um, Everyone, please go check out this split because Summerbruise and I'm gonna repeat that and Shoplifter. That's what it is. Because Summerbruise and Shoplifter have also 6 songs on this split. How did the three of you get in the idea to do like this 3-way split for it?
We've done a couple DIY tours with Summerbruise. And they're just like genuinely an amazing band, super awesome people. Um, we have a funny tour story about Summerbruise. If you want to remind me to like circle back to that in a minute. But
Okay.
Summerbruise just like they have a really cool sound. They make great music. And like we really clicked with them when we were on tour with them. So it just kind of happened naturally. We've loved the idea of doing a split like for a while now. We've wanted to do something like this. And we floated like a couple different bands. And then things just kind of fell into place with these three.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love everything about the split. I mean, especially the album artwork is just amazing. Like it's all like this collage together items. Like you all are everyone that's in it is featured like on the cover, and then there's just like I feel like Easter eggs for all the songs are probably in the cover because obviously we see like a little coffee pot grinder or bean holder or whatever.
That's
so
exactly what we were going for with that. Dom from Shoplifter is also a member of a band, Worry Club. Both the people in Shoplifter are. But he actually put that together and like he was cutting up magazines and like sending us drafts for weeks. So it was really cool to see that come together.
Yeah, I love like the like collage where it's actually physical, like uploaded to digital. So we're stoked about that. We really like it too.
Dude, that's
he was like physically cutting that stuff out of magazines and like scanning them into his computer.
Yeah.
So that is so sick that they took the time to do that. Like, because I mean, obviously you could just like do something digitally and like make it look like that, but to actually take the time and like cut things up and do that, like that's fucking sick.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool.
It gives it like real cool like textures and stuff. Like it kind of feels real. I'm excited to see it on an LP. I think blown up to like 12 by 12, it'll look really sick.
Yeah, I also got to say like the variant colors that were chosen for the vinyl version are also just top notch. Like it's like the orange is obviously my favorite. It's like just amazing color of orange. But the other one's I think like a purple, and it still looks just sick.
Yeah, we kind of chose those to like play off of the colors that are prominent on the cover. Those two are online exclusives, and us and Summerbruise are also going to have like tour variants that you'll only be able to get from us to shows.
Okay.
So, come support your bands in person and like grab some vinyl and stuff.
Speaking of in person, before we get well, I mean, I might save this question. We'll do the little beer thing and then I'll bring it up because I feel like you guys were technically at a festival, kind of on tour. I feel like it works for those. So before we start to transition, is there anything that I might have not brought up that you want the people to know about between Saturdays at your place, Pour Over, Forever, or the split in general?
I don't know if there's anything that you missed. This has just kind of been a crazy ride, and we were not expecting the response that we got with Always Cloudy. And we're like really appreciative of like all the support and stuff that we're getting. Like even on this tour this little run that we just got back from, like we played in St. Louis for the first time. and we had like almost 200 people show up, and it's like
Bonkers.
it's incredible to be like in a city that I've never been in my life, and like have a bunch of people that I've never met before all like kind of come together because it's like we're making art that resonates with people. It's a really cool feeling, and it's something that like, not a ton of people get to experience. So like I'm really grateful for it.
I feel the exact same way. And we had not prepared for any of this, and it's fucking amazing, and we just wanna keep going forever.
Well, I hope you guys can keep going.
Hey.
I know I saw your guys' tweet also about like the Chicago show where, it's a Tuesday. You don't expect anyone to pull up, and it sounds like a lot of people pulled up for the Chicago show as well.
We basically packed that room.
We had a lot of friends there
amazing.
too. Yeah.
Well, hopefully that keeps happening, and you guys. I know Mitch and I were talking. I think before you got on, Gabe. Hopefully you guys make it out to Minneapolis very soon, and I get to see what Saturdays at your place can do in person. Because I'm super stoked.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Big things are coming.
Okay.
Big things.
Yeah, we're a big things coming soon kind of band.
Yeah,
I respect it.
Nothing less.
But like I've said, everyone go check out The Split. It is out now. Go get your copies on vinyl, or go to a show and get one from Summerbruise and the Saturdays at Your Place dudes. Unfortunately, I think this episode comes out right after you guys get back from tour, so just catch them on the next one, catch them on any show, and they'll have them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Always cloudy. I think at the time of this recording, tomorrow, the next pressing gets added and starts shipping out, and I think you guys will have copies of that.
We just got our copies for. We're gonna have them on this tour we're going on. We just got them in the mail. They're sick.
Yeah, they're pretty fucking cool.
I just drove past a crazy accident.
Damn.
But
come on, man.
Now on that note, we're gonna start to transition here. Before we get to the later half, we get to these stories. Obviously, this is Beers Bands. Like I normally say, you don't have to be drinking on these episodes because I will definitely do that for you. But obviously, Mitch, you're driving, so responsibly, you're not drinking anything. But Gabe, I know you have a beverage in front of you. What are you drinking on this fine Thursday?
Oh, yes. Drinking a fine Miller Lite today.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. It's the beer of champions. I honestly I think Coors is my favorite, Coors Light, but I stole this from my roommate. I didn't buy it, so I can't complain.
That is true. Something I also didn't buy is I'm drinking Coronas tonight. I went to a show on Saturday, and my friend stopped by to kind of like pregame before, and he just walks in with a case of beer. I was like, "What is going on?" He's like, "I got him at work. I'm gonna leave him here. Just you want one?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" So they're in my fridge, so I got to drink them.
Oh yeah, you got it.
Nice.
Yeah. Mitch, if you were having a beverage at this moment with us, what would it typically be?
Oh, we already know.
I'd probably be sipping on a root beer. I actually.
Oh hell yeah!
March.
Wait, what? What'd you say?
What? Were you just saying what? Oh, I gave up drinking back in March, so I've been getting into non-alcoholic beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to root beer, though, what brand of root beer is your normal go-to? Because I know a lot of people are house divided with this shit.
Yeah. So
it's intense.
Yeah, not the big two. I'm not too crazy about Mug or Bards.
Big Root.
So there's this thing. I've only ever seen it at Ace Hardware. But I think it's called Foster's. They make a mean root beer.
Okay.
Honorable mention, Culver's for some reason has like wicked good root beer.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh, brother.
Culver's does cheese curds and root beer, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Whoever the buyer is at Ace Hardware, they're doing it right.
Yeah, you're doing God's work.
They're probably just buying it personally for them because they like it.
Seriously. And it's cheap. It's like a massive bottle for like $2.
Oh shit.
I mean, you can't go wrong. Um, but yeah, that's the little beer segment. Now we're gonna get to my favorite part of the
I
episode.
love beer.
Dude, telling me I got a whole podcast based around it. Um, but yeah, we're getting into my favorite part of the episode, which is always the storytelling part of this episode, where we kind of just talk about some fun stories from you guys' time of music, whether they're shows, tours, time recording. Obviously, we have some music videos that you've recorded, so those stories work as well. As I normally say, they can be anything horrendous to tremendous, or any adjective in between. Um, and I know Mitch has one in the wheelhouse already that I was told to remind him about, involving
Yeah.
Summerbruise.
So on we did like a 4 or 5 day run of shows back in like January, February of this year. And we were in Cincinnati, and one of our brake lines went out on our van. And Stan from Summerbruise, they drove us. They're from Indianapolis, so they drove. I think it was Stan, Tyson, and I. They drove us from Cincinnati to Indianapolis to pick up Mike from Summerbruise's van. From from Indiana. They drove us back to Cincinnati, and then we finished out the tour in their van. And then we came back after we played in like Tennessee and Kentucky, came back to Cincinnati after, picked up our van, drove it back to Indianapolis, dropped off Mike's van, and then drove home from there. But that tour would not have happened if they weren't like so generous and like willing to like drive us. Like, I think it was 4 or 5 hours round trip to like pick up that van. We got back into Cincinnati at like 3 or 4 a.m. that night. But like, yeah, for kind of more or less barely knowing us, having played like a couple shows with us at that point, they were like, yeah, sure, take our van, just don't smash it up.
Yeah.
It was really cool for them to do that for us.
Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah, that's amazing, because most people would have been like, "Oh, we don't really know these guys. Like, we'll see you around. Hopefully, you guys get home." Like,
yeah,
good luck.
Good luck with that.
It was a nice van too.
It was, yeah. It was funny.
Yeah.
You had something with the keys. There was a separate key that would unlock the trunk, and if you tried to start the van with that key, it would like, you'd have to like disconnect the battery and reconnect it before it would actually start with the right key. Like the doors would lock from the inside, but you couldn't unlock them from the outside. So you'd have to unlock the trunk and then like crawl in and then like unlock the rest of the van from the inside.
Oh,
it was
God.
great. I guess we weren't the first band that they let borrow that trailer or that van from them. So there were like stickers from some other bands that had used it in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. Summerbruise is awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I wasn't there for it, but I remember the old band that I used to run with. It was their first tour, so it was like a year before I started running with them. But they were all like kind of fresh out of. It was back when we were like fresh out of high school, and they were running in like a little soccer mom minivan with a small trailer behind it, and I think we're in Indiana, and they were like almost to like where they were going to like crash for the night at like one of the guys' like cousin's house, and they went over a set of train tracks, and like it must have just fucked with like the hitch so much that it literally just ripped the hitch off of the minivan.
What the fuck?
Oh, shit.
So,
did they have a trailer on it?
Yeah, they had a trailer on the back.
Oh my God.
All their stuff on it. Thankfully, like all their stuff was okay, but then they had to basically leave some guys there next to the trailer to watch it. They ran to their cousin's house, got his truck, hauled the trailer back to his place, and then 2 or 3 of the guys hauled from Indiana all the way back to where we're from in Iowa, which thankfully is on the eastern side, picked up one of their dad's trucks, and then they both in the minivan and truck hauled it back to Indiana, so that way they had the truck pulling the trailer and then the minivan for the rest of the guys, and then finished out their like 2 or 3 week tour.
Yeah,
Jesus.
That's crazy. That's one of the things I love about like DIY touring is like if you're touring like on the DIY level, or even like I don't know if professionally is the right word, but like you're not like making an insane amount of money, but you're putting in an insane amount of work. So like the kind of people that end up doing this and like the kind of people that you run into touring with these kinds of bands are people that like just genuinely love what they do so much that like the like sacrifices and the work that they'll put into it just like kind of speaks for itself. Like we've met some really cool and like very dedicated people doing this, and like it's stuff that I personally never seen in like anything else.
That's hard. That's hard. Shit, I agree with that.
One thing I did want to bring up that is in my list of questions, and since we're in the storytelling part, is obviously at the time of this recording, we're like a week after Fauxchella, which keeps getting crazier and crazier every year. I get FOMO this time of year every time. Maybe one of these years I'll finally make it down there. But you guys played on the first night of Fauxchella, and there was a tweet that went out that said you guys got crowd surfing banned 4 hours into the weekend.
That's Tequila Mockingbird.
Yeah.
Oh, we were lucky to play it early. We were lucky to play like early, so all the shenanigans were still going on. I don't know. It's nice to say that we got it banned, but
yeah, lots of tomfoolery going on during the Saturday set.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
but yeah, I guess like the Howard's the venue that they do it at. They had like just put in these like nice, colorful like hanging lights from the ceiling, and like the whole time we're like playing the set, like I look up and there's like someone else just like going crazy like up in the air. There's some dude in like a full body hot dog costume. Like I looked up and he's just like 10 feet from me, like looking at me in the eyes, going like, yeah. Like I don't know, it was nuts. But like they were worried about those lights. Like as soon as we finished, I think it was Ellie Hart from Equipment. She works at Howard's there. But like, yeah, they came up on stage and they were like, yeah, like I love the energy, but like let's not fuck up the venue. Like, I don't know. It was very fun though.
So yeah, that answers my dying question of what really happened at Fauxchella. Anything else kind of crazy happened at Fauxchella while you guys were there?
Well, we got to sign that guy's hot dog costume too. That was pretty sick.
Ben Clark played. That was crazy.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm super stoked. I get to see them in December, and I'm so fucking ready.
They're so fucking good. It's really inspiring. The Summerbruise versus Carpool set was fucking sick. That happened while we were there, and they were talking mad shit to each other. It was really entertaining.
Carpool is a great band.
Yeah,
Carpool is the best band.
Carpool is the band of all time.
Yeah, they're definitely one of the bands of all time.
Yeah, probably.
I just love how stacked like each year of Fauxchella gets, and I'm stoked to see what next year's is like.
Yeah, that's how we felt at like Pugfest and Excellency Fest too. Like it was just like we just got to see all the bands that we love for free. So that's like
that's why we do this.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only reason.
But yeah, you guys have toured quite a bit. You know, you're going on this run very soon with Free Throw and Prince Daddy, and also Charmer from Michigan. 1.0 as well. Michigan. But like, what are like some spots that you guys have hit on your tour so far that you're like that you always think about?
Well, the first place that comes to mind is Worcester, Massachusetts, and
dude, I was literally going to say
a lot
that
because it was nuts. Like nuts in the sense that like a fever dream.
That's
it
crazy.
Was terrifying to drive through that town. We played in a basement to like 5 people, and it was really cool. But
Jacob
like,
McKelvey.
Jake McKelvey and the Countertops was like some guy that we played with there. He's awesome. Yeah, crazy lyricist. I don't know, but like that's probably the most memorable, just because like everything about that entire experience felt so unaffected. Like I completely lost my train of thought there.
Sorry, I hardcore interrupted you. Were you
Yeah,
gonna
that's
talk
wild.
about were you gonna talk about the dad and his daughter?
Oh yeah. There was some guy that was like a school teacher, and like he was like a ripping keyboard player. He played like some crazy stuff, and he had his daughter that was like singing with him while he was playing, and she had an amazing voice. But she was like 12, 13 years old or something. Playing at a house show. I don't know. Cool dad award for like getting her into DIY that early.
What was that genre of music you was playing when we started doing the jig? Oh, there she is.
Music or something.
What?
He said that that song he played on his keyboard was like a Ukrainian folk song or something.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Can you
yeah.
hear me at all?
Yeah. We heard that one. Yeah, we all got in a big circle and started like dancing around and shit. It was great.
Yeah.
it's always like crazy the spots that you get to that are like obviously like no one's really there besides like the bands that always turn out to kind of be like the coolest moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is like it's a good bonding experience.
Yeah. Like I remember one time we were supposed to
Yeah.
play
That
in,
was, yeah, at that
sorry, go ahead, Mitch.
Oh god.
um, like the shows that we landed for that tour was just like friends of like other bands that had come through Kalamazoo, and they were like, yeah, I guess you can play here. We just kind of pieced it together based off of like what we could land at that time. We were a really small band.
Mhm.
But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say like there was one time when we were on a run where we were supposed to play Louisville, Kentucky, and there was this picture that used to go around on Tumblr quite a bit, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with the picture itself. I wasn't gonna say like Tumblr, like I'm sure everyone's familiar with Tumblr, but there was the picture of like a pizza oven, and it had a sign on it that said like "Don't mosh too close to the pizza oven, it's hot" or something along those lines. But we were gonna get to play in that actual location. It's like in the basement of this building. It's literally like a cement floor, open area, and it's literally in a pizza shop.
That's fucking sick.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
That
What
reminds me
was
of
yeah.
we played in this place called Dirty Dungarees, and
Yeah.
I think it's in Columbus. On our first run with Summerbruise, and yeah, I don't know if you've heard of that place, but like it's a laundromat, and then it has like a bar on one end, and they have bands that play there.
Yeah,
But it's kind of like a like notorious DIY scene.
like while we were playing our sets, you like people from the streets were just coming in to do their laundry. It was awesome.
Oh, I remember we played this one spot in Columbus, and I don't know if it's still a spot. Like I've only obviously like I mentioned, you guys are like episode like 160 something, I think. And I've only had one band actually know the place that I was talking about, but it was like this old a like apartment building style place, and we played on the ground floor, and the entire time the show's going on, but we see people like coming in the front and then going up like the side stairs and just like going upstairs the entire time. And it's like also in like a kind of sketchy area.
Right.
And finally, I think one of us asked the promoter, we're like, dude, what is with all the people that just go in and out this entire time? And he's like, oh, the building is paid off. So the landlord, the guy that owns it, he basically just like rents out rooms for like super cheap. So people just like pool money together, like $100. They pull that together, and then they'll just go upstairs and like smoke crack. And then he was like, "Do you guys also, if you guys want, you guys can stay down here." Yeah, it was. Yeah, we were like, yeah, we're just gonna head home. It's cool.
Yeah, sick set, guys. It was great to see you.
Because there was like this little green room, but
it's raining cats and dogs out here.
You really are in the sticks, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where the hell I am. I haven't looked at my directions in miles.
Oh, good.
But yeah, that was probably like one of the sketchiest places we've ever played.
That's fun.
Carpool. We just saw Carpool at a house in Kalamazoo last night, and they were telling us about how they were between two cities, and there was like one dude there. They I don't know if they were exaggerating or not, but they're like, yeah, we played to one guy, and after the set, like he bought a ton of merch. He was super cool, but he kept asking us to shoot his gun with him. Like hey, you want to come shoot my gun? Like, I don't know. I've never been to Nebraska, but like that, I don't know. That tracks for some reason.
Yeah, it seems like it's
Yeah,
exactly what would happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it tracks. I remember on the last tour we did, it was us, the band that I used to run with, who's called Exit Emergency from Iowa, but then we took out, it was us and our obviously good friends, everyone knows who they are, Stars Hollow.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who booked the show, but we were supposed to be playing like a house show in like Annapolis, Maryland. And like we're driving all the way, like we drove all the way out there. I remember crossing the bridge over the harbor. You see all like these Navy ships. It looks sick, and I'm like, hell yeah, this is gonna be like a good day. We pull up. For some reason, I don't know fully why. No one was there besides the homeowner and like his one friend, and we literally like because riding the van, we were sharing a drummer on that run. I think there was like 8 or 9 of us. We're all at the van trailer. Like after we find out that it's only 2 people, and we just kind of have a huddle of like, so are we just gonna drive away, or are we actually gonna like do this? And we still hauled in all the gear.
Yes,
and
good.
basically used it as like a practice set. Tyler didn't sing
Right.
at all just to save his voice. And then we just packed right back up and then left and went and stayed at our friend's house. And I was like, this is like why?
Right. I feel like those are also kind of the best shows though. Like because like you really only, I don't know, this is gonna sound really cocky possibly, but like you really only get that like at the beginning, I feel like. So like it's kind of like special, you just get to like hang out with these random people that you've never seen before, and it's like it is like a practice set. I don't know, like kind of more goes, because you're just hanging out with these dudes.
Yeah.
So as we start to wind down here, I just want to say, Mitch, Gabe, thank you so much for taking the time out of your Thursday to sit down with me. I had a great time. Everything you guys are doing is super sick, and I'm just super stoked that I can finally check off that I've had Saturdays at your place on the podcast.
Thank you so much. This has been really fun.
It was super cool to do this.
Super chill.
I like to keep it chill and just feel more like a conversation than just anything else. And I'm definitely ready for round 2 for when we go to do it again. But before I let you guys go for the night, I usually like to end off on like a high note. So my question for the 2 of you is, from your time in Saturdays at your place, what would you say is your favorite moment that you always think back to?
Me personally, one thing that crosses my mind a lot is we played in a college town called Fredonia, New York, on our first tour. And I remember we got there and like, for some reason, this was like the spot, like in this little college town. It was like a Wednesday. They were charging $1 for the show. And it was just like packed with college kids that like, I don't know, they probably didn't know us. We were a really small band at that time, but like, that was like one of the first stops on our tour. And I remember we had all our gear like down in the basement where they kept like all the beer and stuff at this bar. And like, I remember being down there alone and just going like, holy shit, like I'm doing this. Like I'm about to play to a room full of people in a different state for a bunch of people that I don't know. And like, that was kind of like when it really hit me, like how cool it is to be like touring and playing like out of state to people and stuff. Aside from that, I think playing Pug Fest was like, that was by far the biggest room that we'd played up until that
you took mine.
Like, yeah, they were like, all right, sorry. No, you go ahead. It's fine.
No, keep going.
Like it was like a room that I'd seen like a lot of bands that I really like in. And like, then I was on that stage playing to like more or less like a packed room. It's like 1,000 cap venue. So there were like, an insane number of people there. And like, it was just kind of like a holy shit moment. And it was like one of the best crowds we've ever played for. Super high energy. Yeah, Gabe, you can
Yeah,
go ahead. I'm
I
done now.
agree. Okay, thank you. Finally. I agree. I agree with both of those. Those are both awesome moments. I never even really thought about how like Fredonia was like our first like fully packed show where like people kind of knew us but like didn't, but were excited to see us. That was a
Yeah,
good formative memory. I think probably when I was in mine is when I was in the Planet Fitness in Pennsylvania, and I was putting my stuff into my bag, and I was just like putting my clothes back. I was putting my clothes on. I was putting my stuff back in my backpack, and then I look up to my left, and then I just get a face full of like 70-year-old man ass, and that's all I can see. And then I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to look that way, so I'll look this way. And then I look this way, and it's just a fully nude, also 70-year-old man just staring right at us. So those were really great
yeah.
times. But
For context, when we're on tour, we have Planet Fitness memberships, so we can take
oh,
showers in all the
yeah,
cities. And there are pros and cons to doing that.
yeah, that's important, I guess, the context. But Pugfest was really, really surreal. And like we didn't think we could ever get here. We never had this in store, like thought that this could be in store for us. And we're like super grateful. And like honestly, all the shows are amazing. And like having friends in other bands and from previous shows and other connections like coming to our shows, that's like the best. And like when we meet people and then we see them at another show again, that's awesome. Like there's also people who like there's like a small group of fans who like kind of follow us everywhere they possibly can, and that just is super inspiring and it means a lot, and it's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Uh, I, I love those moments. Gabe's, I don't know if I love that one as much, but
All right.
uh, but yes, to everyone that's touring or starting to tour, that was something that we didn't do when we toured. Granted, we toured in like 2013, so I don't feel like it was as well known of like a kind of like hidden gem of like buying a
Right.
Planet Fitness membership and having access to showers easily, rather than smelling for like 3 to 4 days. I don't know what the hell's going on with my computer.
I was like,
Um,
is that a subliminal message?
so, I'm gonna leave this part in. Uh, my my I don't know if that I did that or if one of you guys did that, but
I didn't.
I
my
don't know.
computer
I didn't
my
touch
computer
anything.
updated, and for some reason on the new update for MacBooks, they like did hand gestures. So if I'm like on like recording and I do a hand gesture of some sort, like I could probably get like peace sign is supposed to get bubbles to like balloons to go up. It's been fucking up my life trying to figure out how to turn them off for the last 3 days. Uh, uh, but anyways, yes, go get Planet Fitness memberships, and just be prepared for tour to not smell.
It's the hack. We were gonna
It really
do
is.
we were gonna do truck stops. Like on our first tour, that's where we stopped first because we are like, oh, this is perfect. And then we got in there and it was like $20 to take like a shower. Like and you
Right.
had like only 10 minutes to
Yeah.
take it.
We're like, can
So
we go together?
Yeah. Right. So it's Planet Fitnesses are really nice, but also like meeting people and like staying at their house, that's also a very good way. And you get to meet people in the process. So
yeah. But one last big thank you to you guys for stopping by. But before I leave, I know if anyone's looking for merch, music, or Saturdays at your place in general, where can they find it?
top choice, our website is just saturdaysatyourplace.com. We've been working on that for a while. We got like just like quick links to everything basically, but we have our store up on there. And we have like our music videos hosted there. Also, we have other merch on No Sleep's website, like No Sleep slash Saturdays or whatever it is. That's where some of our other designs are. All of the merch on our website though, we print ourselves. And Mitch like leads that, and we print that ourselves. And then anywhere you listen to music, Napster, Spotify, Tidal,
Groove Shark.
Groove Shark. Yeah, Google Play.
If you want to use LimeWire,
YouTube
still,
Music,
get it.
Amazon Music.
LimeWire.
Well, you know, depending on where you found this episode, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, Threads, or you watched the YouTube version and got to see at least Gabe's lovely face. You could see Mitch's every once in a while. You know, check the description down below. Hit those hyperlinks. Go follow them on all the socials and stay up to date for, you know, new music, new tour dates, new shows in general. If you haven't already, make sure you get the updated copy. I guess it's technically the second pressing of Always
Yeah.
Cloudy. Get the vinyl version of the split, and just keep rocking what these guys got going on.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Dude, thank you guys for taking the time. I really appreciate it, and you know, I'll catch everyone on the next episode.
Yo, until next time.
All right, hell yeah. See ya.
Beers with Biz. Beers with Biz.